Good morning, delegates. Welcome back to day 2 of the Bharat Defence Tech Show 2026. We kindly request all attendees to proceed to the main auditorium and take your seats. Day 2 session commence shortly with a special address from Air Marshal Ashutosh Dikshit, Chief of Integrated Defence Staff. Light refreshments are available at the networking lounge. The exhibition remains open throughout the day. Thank you, and we look forward to an inspiring day 2 focused on space technology, strategic intelligence, and India's emergence as a global defense export hub. Ladies and gentlemen, in a while we will begin this day 2 of Bharat Defence Tech Show 2026. Thank you so much. Sada Pranam, Namaste, and a very good morning to all of you. Before we move on, let me ask you, how's the Josh? Thank you. Yeah, it has to be like that throughout the day so that we can have a wonderful day. So, let's welcome back to Bharat Defence Tech Show 2026. Yesterday was extraordinary. We inaugurated with vision, we explored operational strategies, we forged international partnerships, and we glimpsed the cutting edge of unmanned warfare. Today, we expand beyond Earth's atmosphere and into the strategic high ground of space. Today, we expand from indigenous capabilities to global market dominance. Today, we expand our understanding of what's possible when innovation meets national will. Over the next several hours, you will hear from military strategists defining the future of space-based defense, intelligence experts revealing how surveillance wins wars before they begin, policy architects charting India's path as a defense export superpower, startup founders demonstrating technologies that will serve our armed forces tomorrow. Day 2 is not just a continuation, it's an elevation. From land, sea, and air, we now reach for the stars. And we begin with one of the most influential leaders in India's integrated defense architecture. Ladies and gentlemen, modern warfare is no longer fought on silos. The days when our Army, Navy, and Air Force operate independently are over. Today's battlefield demands jointness, synchronized operations, unified command, seamless intelligence sharing, and the leader championing this transformation, ensuring India's fights not as three forces, but as one unified power. As Chief of Integrated Defence Staff, he oversees the strategic synergy between all three services. He is the architect of operational integration. He is the guardian of joint warfare capabilities. His leadership is transforming how India responds to threats. His vision is shaping how India dominates domains, from the ocean depths to outer space. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my profound honor to invite to this stage Air Marshal Ashutosh Dikshit, Chief of Integrated Defense Staff, Headquarters Integrated Defense Staff. Ladies and gentlemen, Air Marshal Ashutosh Dikshit is the Chief of Integrated Defense Staff, taking command in May 2025. An experimental test pilot and qualified flying instructor. He has over 3,300 flying hours on aircraft ranging from the Mirage 2000 to the Jaguar. He has held pivotal roles as Deputy Chief of Air Staff and AOC in Sea Central Air Command. His 38 years career includes active participation in Operation Safed Sagar and Rakshak. He is a recipient of the Param Vishis Seva Medal, Ati Vishis Seva Medal, Vayu Sena Medal, and Vishist Seva Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, his vision for integrated operation is not theoretical. It is operational, it is tested, and it is proven. Sir, we are privileged to hear your strategic vision for India's joint defense architecture. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Air Marshal Ashutosh Dikshit.
First of all, thank you very much for this long introduction. Good morning to all of you, distinguished guests, defense leaders, innovators, and fellow patriots. My topic for today is technology as a force multiplier in future warfare. For this, let me begin with a thought from our ancient wisdom, the Arth Shastra, written over 2000 years ago, which tells us, he who is well prepared and takes the enemy by surprise will be victorious. Today, we stand at a moment in history where this ancient truth meets cutting-edge reality. The surprise is no longer just a flanking maneuver or a night raid. The surprise is autonomous drones that think faster than human reflexes. It is cyber weapons that can cripple infra without firing a single bullet. It is artificial intelligence that can predict any movements before they actually happen. The battlefield of tomorrow will not look like the battlefields of yesterday. And the nation that understands this first, adapts fastest, and innovates boldest will write the security architecture of this century. We gather here at the Bharat Defence Tech Show not just to showcase various weapons and systems. We gather because we understand a fundamental truth. Technology is not merely an addition to military power. Technology is the multiple that transforms modest capabilities into formidable strength. So, what does it mean to be a force multiplier? A single soldier with a rifle has certain combat power. When you give that soldier night vision goggles, real-time satellite intelligence, and AI-powered threat detection, you have multiplied his effectiveness tenfold, perhaps 100-folds. That is the power of multiplication, and that is the promise of technology. Our Honorable Prime Minister has spoken of making India Atmanirbhar in defense. Self-reliance is not just about manufacturing weapons at home. It is also about becoming a technology powerhouse that can innovate, adapt, and lead. It is also ensuring that when future wars are fought, whether on land, sea, air, cyberspace, outer space, information space, India stands ready with the most advanced tools and the sharpest minds. Ladies and gentlemen, let us be clear, the nature of war remains constant. It is about imposing your will on the adversary. It is about protecting your people and your interests. But the character of war, how wars are fought actually, is changing at a very rapid rate. Think of warfare through the centuries. We went from swords to muskets, from muskets to machine guns, from cavalry to tank warfare. Each transition took decades, sometimes even centuries. Today, the pace of change has compressed into years and sometimes months, and the times to come it may be even days. Let me give you an example. In the recent conflict between Ukraine and Russia, we saw Turkish-made drones costing a few $1 million each, destroying Russian tanks worth tens of millions. We saw commercial quadcopters, the kind you can buy online, being weaponized to drop grenades. We saw open source intelligence from satellite imagery analyzed by civilian volunteers, providing battlefield awareness that once required billion-dollar spy satellites. The character of war has shifted from pure kinetic confrontation to a blend of physical and virtual, of visible and invisible, of declared and undeclared. Our own experience, like in 1992 during the Kargil conflict, showed us that laser-guided munitions could strike mountain peaks that were previously thought unreachable. Each precision-guided bomb saved countless lives of our brave soldiers. That was technology as a force multiplier in action. Today, we face adversaries who do not always announce their intentions, like with border crossing, detectable troop movements. They probe us in grey zone, that murky space which is existing between peace and war. The future battlefield will not respect the boundaries we draw between different domains of conflict. When we think of military operations, we traditionally think of tanks, aircraft, ships. These are the kinetic tools that destroy physical targets. But modern warfare demands we think differently. Today's conflict blends kinetic strikes with cyber attack, electronic warfare with psychological operations, satellite jamming with precision missiles. So it blends domain, it blends forces, and it has to be integrated with a correct tempo, correct timing, which can only be possible by good use of technology and intelligent use of technology. So let's look at a real world scenario. Imagine an adversary which is planning to attack our critical infra. They will not begin with bombs straight away. They will begin weeks earlier with cyber intrusion, mapping our power grids, water systems. They will spread disinformation on social media to create panic and confusion. They will jam our communication satellites, and only then, when we are digitally blind and our population is psychologically vulnerable, we will see any kinetic strike. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not science fiction. This is how modern conflicts are unfolding, and we have seen some recent examples of this kind of action taking place. Now look at convergence. What I am talking about, convergence of technology and convergence of various domains. So I'll give you one example of Israel's Iron Dome system. It's a very excellent example of convergence to understand what is the meaning of convergence. It combines radar detection, AI-powered threat assessment, and kinetic interceptors, all working in milliseconds to protect civilians. The system does not shoot down rockets. It takes split-second decisions about which rocket to shoot down based on trajectory calculation. If the rocket is going into a zone where there is no damage which it can do, then the rocket is let go. It is not shot down. So that is how the technology is multiplying the defensive capability of each battery by orders of magnitude. In the Indian context, we must prepare for conflicts where a cyber attack on a banking system happens, with a border skirmish where disinformation campaign undermine national unity, while drones probe our airspace, where space-based assets are disabled just as ground operations begin. So all this we have to take into consideration, and that is how we are saying that we have to become integrated over a period of time. So the convergence is here already, what I am saying, and we must master all these domains simultaneously and act in them simultaneously. Perhaps the most difficult challenge we face is conflict in the grey zone, operations that stay below the threshold of declared war but can be devastatingly effective. The grey zone is where nations compete using tools like economic coercion, cyber espionage, propaganda, proxy force, and lawfare. It is where you wake up one day and find that your neighborhood country has civilian fishing vessels with military-grade electronics anchored near your territorial waters. It is where your critical infra faces thousands of cyber probes daily, testing for weaknesses. Technology is the primary weapon in grey zone. Consider China's use of what they call three warfares: psychological, media, and legal. They build islands in disputed waters and claim them with legal justification. They use social media to spread narratives. They employ cyber tools to steal intellectual property, all without firing a single shot. But technology can also be our great shield in this grey zone. AI-powered monitoring systems are detecting unusual patterns in network traffic, identifying cyber intrusion before they cause damage. Satellite surveillance combined with machine learning is tracking civilian vessels that behave like military assets. Blockchain technology is securing supply chains, ensuring that critical components in our defense systems are not compromised. Our own Digital India initiative, linked with AI mission and semiconductor mission and quantum mission, where the government is focusing and creating a technology-aware population which can be mobilized for national security. When millions of Indians can identify and report suspicious digital activity, we create a distributed early warning system that no adversary can overwhelm. The creator of Apple, Steve Jobs, once said, "Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower." In the grey zone, innovation in technology determines who controls the narrative, who protects their interest, and who emerges stronger. Let me now turn to a few specific technologies that will define military power in the coming decades. The first and foremost is artificial intelligence and machine learning. We are already having an AI summit going on in Delhi. It will be to warfare in the coming century what tank was to warfare in the previous century. It is a game-changing innovation. It will process intelligence data faster than any human team. It will pilot drones, control swarms of autonomous vehicles, predict maintenance needs for equipment, and even assist commanders in making tactical decisions under pressure. One example is the United States Project Maven, which is using AI to analyze drone footage, identifying targets and threats. China is also investing billions in AI for military applications. India must not lag behind. Our strength in software and IT services give us a natural advantage, and we are leveraging it slowly. The second is autonomous systems and robotics, unmanned systems on land, at sea, and in air, and underwater, and maybe sometime later in near space, will increasingly take on dangerous missions. They will create an environment, they will work in an environment which is too hazardous for humans to operate, and a swarm of hundreds of these drones, each costing a few lakhs, will act as a coordinated unit, and they will be able to overwhelm air defenses, conduct recce, or even carry out strikes. The technology is there with us today. The question is, who will deploy it most effectively is the one who will be able to do better in the next sequence. The next important technology which is shaping slowly is quantum computing. It is emerging, it is still emerging, not yet fully developed. It promises to revolutionize everything from cryptography to logistics. It will break current encryption systems in minutes, making our communication vulnerable, and also it will optimize supply chains. So certain problems which normal computers take ages to solve, computer using quantum technology will be able to solve that in maybe milliseconds. Next is hypersonic weapons, missiles that travel more than 5 times the speed of sound and which can target with minimal warning time. Some of them are already deployed, some of them are getting let's say developed, and also along with it is anti-hypersonic missile. Basically hypersonic missile defense, how do you detect and neutralize a hypersonic weapon? So these two things are also shaping the our main focus is there. The directed energy weapons, that is lasers and high power microwave systems, they can disable drones, missiles and electronics at the speed of light and a fraction of the cost that per shot compared to traditional missiles. So this is a very niche and a very good field which is coming up slowly. Space and counter space capabilities, the ultimate holy ground is space. Satellites provide almost everything today: communication, navigation, recce, early warning, but they are also vulnerable. Anti-satellite weapons, cyber attacks on ground stations, or radiation attacks, or EW type of attacks, ECM attacks on the satellites themselves, like jamming, can deny us these capabilities. We have to develop resilient space architecture and counter space capabilities. Now let us bring this home to Bharat. What does all this mean for India? We are a nation of 1.4 billion people. We have the world's fourth largest military. We face complex security challenges, from contested borders to maritime threats, from terrorism to cyber attacks. We cannot afford to be complacent, and we cannot afford to be merely followers in military technology. But this is the problem. The answer is we have tremendous strength. We have a young population with technical skills. We have a thriving startup ecosystem. We have proven capabilities in space, as demonstrated by missions like Chandrayaan and Mangalyaan. We have a growing defense manufacturing base under the Make in India initiative. Now, what is the challenge? The challenge is to convert these strengths into military advantages. Our Honorable Prime Minister has articulated a vision where India is among the top countries in defense manufacturing. He has said Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense doesn't mean isolating ourselves in the world. It means we should be able to contribute to global security through our strength and self-confidence. This vision requires us to think differently. We cannot simply buy technology from abroad and remain perpetually dependent. We must develop, we must innovate, and we must indigenize. Let me share some encouraging examples. The BrahMos missile, a joint venture with Russia, is the world's fastest cruise missile. It multiplies the striking power of our Air Force and Navy manifold. Our indigenous Tejas fighter aircraft demonstrates that we can design and build complex aerospace systems. The NAVIC satellite navigation system ensures we are not dependent on foreign GPS systems during conflict. And there will be multitude of such examples, and some of them are sitting amongst us. These are proof points that Indian technology can compete globally, but we need more, much more. We need startups working on AI for defense applications. We need partnerships between DRDO, private industry and academic institutions. We need to create an ecosystem where a young engineer in Bangalore or Pune can develop a breakthrough defense technology and see it deployed rapidly, maybe within 18 months. As we look ahead, let me leave you with 3 actionable messages, 3 concrete steps which we need to take. First, we need to invest in dual-use technologies. We must focus on technologies that serve both civilian and military purposes. AI, quantum computing, biotechnology, advanced materials, these can drive economic growth while also strengthening defense. This approach maximizes returns and creates a broader industrial base. Every rupee invested in dual-use technology pays dividends maybe 3 or 4 times over. Second, we need to build public-private partnerships. The government and armed forces cannot innovate in isolation. We need agile private companies bringing commercial best practices. We need startups taking risks that government labs cannot. We need a procurement system that rewards innovation, not just compliance. The IDEX initiative is a very good start, and it needs to be scaled further. And the news regarding AMCA, which you must have heard that is going to private sector, is also a step in the correct direction. Third, we need to develop human capital. Technology is only as good as the people who wield it. We must train our armed forces in emerging technologies. We must create specialized units for cyber warfare, space operations and AI applications. We need to attract the brightest minds into defense research. We have to make it aspirational for a computer science graduate to work on military AI, not just on computer apps. So these three actions, investing in dual-use technology, building partnerships, and developing human capital, will position India as a leader in defense technology, not a follower. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude with this thought. Our scriptures tell us yoga karmashu kaushalam. Yoga is skill in action. The Bhagavad Gita teaches us that excellence comes not from inaction or wishful thinking, but from skillful, determined effort. Today, we need skill in action. We need excellence in execution. We need the determination to make India a technological superpower in defense. The future of warfare will be won not by the largest armies, but by the smartest one. Not by those with the most weapons, but by those with the best integrated systems. Not by nations that follow trends, but by those that set them. India has everything that it needs. Talented people, growing resources, strategic vision, and most important, the will to succeed. So here is my call to action for each one of you. If you are a policy maker, create frameworks that encourage innovation while maintaining security. Try to remove bureaucratic hurdles that slow down technology adoption. If you are an entrepreneur, recognize that building defense technology is not just business, it is nation building. Take the harder path, solve the complex problems. Your innovations will save lives in future. If you are a researcher or engineer, know that your work has purpose beyond publications and patents. You are building the tools that will protect 1.4 billion people. If you are a member of the armed forces, embrace these new technologies, champion them, demand them. You are the ultimate users, and your feedback will drive this innovation further. And in the end, if you are a citizen, understand that national security is not someone else's responsibility, it is ours collectively. Support defense innovation, encourage bright students to enter this field. The wars of tomorrow will be fought with the technologies we develop today. The security of our children will depend on the decisions we make today. The strength of India in 2047, when we will be Viksit Bharat, when we celebrate a century of independence, will be determined by how seriously we take the technological imperative today. We can rise to this challenge. We can make technology our force multiplier. Let us ensure that when the history of this century is written, India is remembered not as a nation that was the future unfold, but as the one that shaped it. So let us go forth and build a future where India stands strong, secure and sovereign, powered by the force multiplier of technology. Thank you very much for listening, and I wish this seminar all the success. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Sir, I would like you to stay here for a little longer. I request Dharkar sir to please come on the stage and felicitate Air Marshal Dikshit. Air Marshal Dikshit, thank you for that powerful and comprehensive articulation of integrated operations. What you have outlined is not just military strategy, it is national transformation, because when our forces operates as one, we don't just defend our borders, we dominate the domains. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen,